I've fallen into this trap time and time again, and my eyes have been opened, so now it's your turn. Hi guys, welcome to Cat's Cozy Life. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. You can find more videos like this in my Jesus Journey messages. I discuss messages, linked into the Bible. We do some Bible study as well here. So I hope you do like this channel. Please do this, tap that subscribe button and also turn on your notifications so you know when the next video comes. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for supporting this channel. May you please just tap that thumbs up button, guys, so that the algorithm can push this video out there. Please do share this video with anyone you know who might need it, might benefit from this word, or whoever you know. So what trap have I fallen into? The trap of not having time, guys. So my New Year's resolution for this new year, one of them was to actually have time to, make time for what matters. Because I realized from last year that a lot of my time was being squashed up, and a lot of the time I was, in conversations agreeing with people. I was relating to not having any time for anything, always being busy, always being rushed. And once I checked my phone and my screen time, I realized that that time was going to things that should not have been priorities. I would have like 3 hours that I've spent on Instagram, yet I felt like I didn't have time for things that I actually wanted to do, like engaging in my hobbies, improving in my skills of like learning instruments and actually filming for my YouTube channel, right? And so I started to shift around my priorities and I decided that this year I would have time. Okay. And so I feel like these days we've kind of normalized this busy or rushed lifestyle that does not make any time for rest and doing things that are enjoyable. And many a times, yes, it is easy, to feel like the things that you are doing that make you busy are just so important, but we forget that if a lifestyle is going against the grain from what God intended for us, then it is not the one we are supposed to be living. God did say that rest is important. That's why there was a Sabbath day, and you have to make time for God. That is a very important thing. And so your priority should be in a list like that, with your non-negotiables for things that you always make time for, things that will feed you energy and not just drain it. And so I realized that this, constantly saying I don't have time, constantly feeling busy all the time, constantly feeling drained was becoming something of an idol, right? I was putting time like above God. I was constantly chasing after time instead of constantly chasing after God. And so Isaiah 2 verse 8 says, their land is full of idols. They bow down to the work of their hands, to what their fingers have made. So God has given us a structure for life. He has told us that rest is important. Spending time with Him is important. He has taught us all these things, and yet we have gone against the grain and have made a new structure of life where we prioritize just, working, schooling, and that, and we don't take time to rest. We constantly feel like we are moving on our feet all the time, and it is a life structure that we have made, and it's a life structure that many of us conform to, even though it is not serving us in any way and it is not benefiting us at all. And so it is an idol that we have made and that we kind of look to, thinking that it will give us some sort of success. When people are saying, oh no, I have to be a workaholic in my 20s because I have to climb the corporate ladder so that I can be successful in my 40s or something like that. You're always looking to chase for the next thing, and you look to this thing thinking that it is going to give you something more, or it takes away from you, because idols are draining, right? So the thing is, think of a sunflower. Okay, so a sunflower will turn to look at wherever the sun is because it knows that when it looks at the sun, it's getting the energy it needs to do photosynthesis, to get its energy, its food, its life. And so in the nighttime, it has enough energy so that it can just close or face down, because it knows it has the energy to do the other things it needs to do in the night, right? And then it knows the next day the sun's going to come up and it can face the sun again to get its energy. So that is God for us. We are the sunflowers in the situation. We have to turn towards God because He is our source of everything, of energy and all that. But when we have an idol, we look away from our source of energy. And you know what happens to the sunflower when it looks away from the sun? It will die eventually because it's not doing the processes it needs to do. It's not getting the energy it needs to have, right? So if we or the sunflower in this case, when we look at God and we focus on what God is saying we must make important and things we must be making time for, we get energy. And so we get to feel, alive, feel free because God has given us that freedom and He will give us the resources to do all the things we need to do. But if we look away and we're just looking to the dark side, we're not looking at I know when it says the dark side, it sounds like something else, but I mean like away from the sun, away from the light, basically, right? We are looking away, and so we're not getting our source, we're not getting the energy to do the things we need to do for our everyday lives, okay? And so that is like an idol, right? If you look away from God and you're looking towards an idol, you end up getting so drained because that idol can't give you anything. It's not going to feed into your life, it's not going to fulfill you, it's not going to do anything for your life. And so, once we make time an idol through the things we are saying through our mouths, we are speaking these things over our lives, saying, "Oh, I'm too busy. I never have time for this. I never have time." You're basically saying you never have time for yourself, yet you have time for these other things that aren't adding everything to your life, because you need to have a balanced life. You can't just focus on one thing because that's when you end up getting drained and you know you're facing away, you're facing to the idol, you're not doing the things the way they're meant to be being done. And so Psalms 90 verse 12 says, "Teach us to number our days so that we may gain a heart of wisdom." It's a better time now to learn to not make time an idol and to make sure that you make time for the things that are meaningful to you, to the people you love, and that so that we don't have to go through the hard way of learning it. We've seen the movies, guys, where people go through the guilt, where people have had situations. We've seen people in real life even who have had situations where they feel like, oh, I wish I had talked to that person more. I wish I had called them those times, but you were always running away from it because you had this thing in your mind and you just force yourself to have this perception that you never have time. And so we don't have to go to that hard place. We don't have to hit that rock bottom to learn that time is not our idol. You don't have to run after time. Okay, take that call that person, do that thing, learn that new thing, go out there and spend some time just worrying about you and doing something you like, right? Something that's going to help you balance your life so that you can actually be using this life to the fullest. You see, teach us to number our days because our days are numbered. You only have this life. If you're not living it well right now, like, what are you gonna do? You have to do what's gonna fulfill you now. You only have this one life, right? So I remember seeing this other video. I mean, yeah, a little like snippet of a movie where this lady is busy saying, "Oh, I'm 50 now, and where's all that time gone? I had planned to do this, I had planned to do that, but I never got to it because I never had time." If you get so used to not having time for yourself, not having time for the things that you need to do in life, for the other people around you, what happens is you'll get to a point where you'll think, where did all that time go? And you'll look on your well-being on your phone and you realize that you were spending weeks on weeks on your phone, not even experiencing other things. You were spending weeks on weeks being so claustrophobic because of this pressure you had put around yourself, saying, "Oh, I don't have time, I don't have time." If you are speaking things that are going to bring your life down through your own mouth, you remember that you're speaking over your life. That's how things are going to go. But once we start speaking life out and we say, "Oh yeah, this day did feel a bit busy, but I'm going to make time for this. I'm going to make time for this. Yeah, these are my non-negotiables. I'm going to do this on this day no matter what," right? You start pushing your schedule open, putting the priorities in order and making time as it's supposed to be in your schedule. You will feel way more fulfilled and you will not be, feeling burnt out and drained all the time. So face your eyes away from the idol of this busy lifestyle, from this rush or this always being in a place where you don't have time, and place your eyes back to your Savior, okay? Things are way more peaceful if you're just focusing on Christ and the things that He is doing in your life, the things He's telling you to do. things become way more peaceful, right? And make sure that you are speaking life over your life, out of your ear, out of your mouth. Speak life over your life, right? Change your mindset so that you can actually be optimistic about life and realize that our days are numbered. And when we realize that and we learn how to, control and just live with time and realize that we're not supposed to be running after time, we're supposed to be running after God, then we will gain this heart of wisdom, that contentness and that peace and that joy from the Lord, because we'll be feeding from our actual source of energy. So thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for, taking this time out of your day to see this video. I hope that this has inspired you. After realizing this in the beginning part of the year, it has been hard to implement, to change your mindset is a difficult thing, but it is possible. And once you do it, look, things will get better and better. I'm still in the process, right? But I've learned to, get off my phone, set those timers, and I've learned to actually get out there and do the things that I'm wanting to do, to advance my skills, to learn more about different things, to learn more skills, to set time to be creative, set time to just spend time with God every day, right? To actually rest. So it really will change your life and it is worth doing. Okay. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please do hit that thumbs up so that the algorithm can do its thing. And thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.